गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां. So yesterday we saw the two verses. We saw the three no? Yeah, sixth. बाल्यादिष्वपि जाग्रदादिषु तथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वपि व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानमहमेत्यन्तः स्फुरन्तं सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये. My salutations to Sri Dakshinamurti, who invokes, awakens the glory within us, within me. And how does he do it? Through his eloquent silence. And that silence was, we explained in the last class, that Swatmanam prakati karoti bhajatam yo mudraya bhadraya. How? Through bhadraya, auspicious mudra. This was the auspicious mudra. This is called the chin mudra. And through that, because what can be talked about the truth? Truth is that where yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Truth is that, self is that, Brahman is that, where the words without touching Brahman return back. They cannot reveal. Words can only reveal that which is, that which is relative. That which is transcendental, words can give names to it, but they can never reveal it. And therefore Dakshinamurti, he, having recognized this when he says prakati karoti, how is he revealing? Two ways. First was the relative way, which was by way of words. For that the student has to do the shravanam, come to refine his thinking so that he comes to that point as indicated by the words. But when he comes to that point where the thinking also dissolves itself, he still, what to do next? The teacher there gives him the second instruction, and that instruction is without words. It is only through the mudra. Through the mudra. And in this, the seventh verse talked about, we told you, Hariom Colin. So the seventh verse talked about, the first, second, third, fourth verse talked about the truth. The fifth and sixth verse talked about refuting all the other paths, Because all other paths are included in Vedanta. Remember, understand this. The source of all other paths is that one reality alone. So when you take that position of one reality, you are able to put in place and see the defects in those arguments. And that was shown by Shankaracharya in 5th and 6th. Then the student is saying, yeah, I understood what you told, but this is all very airy-fairy in the sense that I am not, how do I practice this? You have told me about the Atma Tattva, how do I practice it? So here in the 7th verse it was told, now the teacher was telling him about his own experience, his own assessment. In the 1st to the 4th verse it was about high contemplation. But here it is located here where you are, and it was his observation of his life. And he says, Balya dishvapi jagrada dishu tatha sarva swavasthasyapi vyavritta svanuvartamana mahamityanta swarantam sada. That the Balyadi, the childhood, the youth, the teenage, the youth, the middle age, the old age, they come and go. Here the avastha was talked about. We talked yesterday about the various avasthas and states. The avasthas, if you look at your whole life as one, in one go, then you were a child once upon a time, you were a youth once upon a time, you were an adult once upon a time, and some of you, not us, you are old age now. So we have seen all the changes, but we have not gone through. I don't feel I have changed. Something has remained constant in spite of all the changes. So also the other states were talked about, that the waking, dream, deep sleep, samadhi, they also come and go, but someone is there who knows that the waking is coming and going every day, dream is coming and going every day, sleep is coming and going every day, samadhi is coming and going every day. So who is that in whose presence these 4 states are coming and going? That is that. That is that. That is Dakshinamurti. That is the Atma. That is the Brahman. And in this manner, here in the second line, Vyavritta Svanuvartamana. What is this Vyavritta? Vyavritta is that which is continuously changing. Anuvartaman is that which is not changing. Discrimination between the two. Is this not your observation? The teacher is telling the student, you asked, how do I practice it? Here, in this body. Look at your body. Look at your experience. What is changing and what is not changing? So we showed you the various stages that the body has gone through, modifications that the body has gone through, but you have not gone through any modification. You say the body has, the body was a child body was a youth body, now it is an old body. So body has gone through the modifications. The one who is observing this has not gone through the observations. The mind has gone through the observations. The Atma or the self has not gone through the modifications. Similarly, the word for these modifications or changes is Vyavrita. And the Anuvarta is the unchanging principle. So now you decide, are you the changing principle or are you the unchanging principle? Our New Year's message. Is your thinking, what was the word? Vikaratmaka buddhi, because till we all are here, yes, we are Atma, but right now we are thinking. Our intellect is activated. So as a thinking person, as a person who thinks that he has choices to make in this life, are we having Vikaratmika buddhi or are we having Vicharatmika buddhi? Vikar means, are you thinking such thoughts which lead to more thoughts, or are you thinking such thoughts will lead to dissolution of all thoughts without leaving any result behind? studying Dakshinamurti, where do you reach? Silence. Conscious silence. You don't reach void. You don't reach absence or nothingness. You reach conscious silence. And that is the first two verses. Antas sfurantam sada. And where is this Atma? Where is this self? It is anta. It is within. And how is it within? It is continuously shining always. Sada is always, Sfurantam is, it's continuously, without a break. The sun is continuously shining without a break. You may see there is an eclipse, that was the previous verse, 6th verse. You may see there is an eclipse, but because there is an eclipse, the shadow of the earth or moon has covered the sun, does not mean that the sun has stopped shining. You are seeing the eclipse also in the light of the sun only. Correct? Exactly the same way. When our intellect gets clouded by ignorance, and now when we think in this manner, we come to discover, come to reveal. And what has been revealed? That which is ever shining from within. And in its light, we are seeing the Balya, Dishvapi, the various states, the various stages, all the duality. All this is seen in the light of that principle, that I am. And with this, Swatmanam prakati karoti bhajatam. And this, the self, the Swa-Atma. Swa-Atmanam. Swa is I, Atmanam is the self. The self is revealed by the teacher by two ways, as we said before, through words, through instructions, as well as through silence. And that silence was denoted through the Chin Mudra, which is a auspicious mudra. And in this way, to such a guru who has this capacity, to such Dakshinamurti who has this capacity, the ability and the acumen to teach both through words and through silence. First through words, then through silence. Not first silence, then words. Words must lead to silence. When we take Bhagwan's name also, Vaikhari, Madhyama, Pashyanti, Para. When you reach Para, it is silence. There is no invocation of any words in your mind at that time. There is utter silence, but you are conscious. Here also, so this will be very similar to that. When you reach Paravani, is equal to the silence of Dakshinamurti. See? Suddenly you connect. And in this way, the 7th verse was addressed. Now, I think we saw the 8th verse also. 8th verse was Vishwam pashyati karya karanataya swaswami sambandhataha Shishyacharya tathaiva pitru putradhyatmana bhedataha Swapne jagrati vaya esha purusho maya paribhramidaha Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Shri Dakshinamurtaye. We see the world divided into cause and effect. Everywhere there is, once you come into the relative, wherever there is duality, wherever there are opposites, there will be cause and effect. And this is our observation. And we see that cause is different from the effect. But actually it is not so. Cause alone is expressing as effects. And here, what is this cause and effect? That there is a seer, there is a seen, there is a knower, there is a known, there is a possessor, there is a possessed. And this way, there is a father, there is a son, so look at this cause and effect in its entirety. But who is giving cause to whom? Is father giving cause to, is the father the cause of the son, or the son is the cause of father? Is mother the cause of the son, child, or the child is the cause of mother? Who is it? Normally, in our daily life, we will say, don't misbehave, I am the mother, I am the father. But the child comes back and says, Mom, who called you mother before I was born? Nobody. So mother was born the moment the child was born. The father was born the moment the child was born. So both are simultaneous. Similarly, seer and seen. Was seer there before the seen, or the seen was there before the seer? Is seer the cause of the seen, or seen is the cause of the seer? Is experiencer the cause of the experienced, or experienced is the cause of the experiencer? Both are simultaneous. Both coexist. Both are the cause of each other. And this is, when you look at it a bit more deeply, then everything is... Now what conclusion will you come? So am I not a father of mother of my child? So here we are not going into that part. Here we are looking at the whole world is nothing. Vishwam pashyati karya karanataya. That the whole world, Vishwam, is nothing but a play of cause and effect. Whenever this cause and effect comes, I always ask this question. What are the 3 rules of cause and effect? You must know. What is the first rule?
Cause is one and effects are many.
No. First one. Every effect must have a cause. Every effect must have a cause. The table is there. This is the effect. Who is the cause? Carpenter. It cannot be an inert thing. It will be a carpenter who put it together. If the child is there, mother, parents are there, etc., etc. Isn't it? Second rule. Your word.
Cause is one and effects are many.
But put it in a better way. Cause alone, she said, cause is one, effects are many. Okay? But I will add to that, cause alone expresses as many effects. The ocean alone expresses as many ways. One set of parents alone expresses as many children. The one light alone expresses as the 7 colors, and so on and so forth. It goes on. Cause alone expresses as many effects. Third rule?
Effect can never know the cause.
No, now you're going back. Okay. That is at the first level. Effect can never know the cause. Effect can never know the cause. Cause, does cause need to know the effect?
Yes.
Yes and no. Third rule, this is not one of the rules, what she's saying. Those are just for the first rule, that is extra added to that. But what is the third rule? If there is no cause, there is no effect. Remove the cause, there is no effect. These are the 3 rules of cause and effect. Just like you have the 3 laws of motion, these are the 3 laws of cause and effect. But here, we are not here to remove. Normally, Shankaracharya, he himself says, what is the cause of all the effects? What is the cause of the whole creation? What is the cause of all variety? What is the cause of all the duality? What is the cause of the relative? Ignorance. That's what he says, isn't it? Yet in Dakshinamurti, he is not taking you there. He is not taking you in the direction of ignorance. He will tell that in the 3rd verse, but in a different way. So, even here he is taking us to a point, making us recognize that this world is a play of 2, cause and effect. You can't determine which is the cause and which is the effect. Which is the cause and which is the effect. And And here he says, Shishya charyataya tathaiva pitru putra dhyatmana bhedataha. And that same Dakshinamurti, that same reality, here now it's not a cause, because we have come to know that cause and effect are mutually cancelable. If these are the effects, there must be a cause. If both of them are there, what is their cause? Here it is saying Dakshinamurti himself alone is expressing as the cause and effect. So here what is the cause and effect? The teacher is the cause and student is the effect, or student is the cause and teacher is the effect, whichever way you put it. I am called a teacher only because you are there. If you are not there, who will call teacher a teacher? I'll be speaking to nothing. Yet there are people. I know one person. He used to give lectures. In the morning, he was in an old age home, working there, and he will keep the class at 6:30 in the morning. And you know, old people, they cannot get up at 6:30. By the time they collect their body together, go to the shower, then put on clothes and come to the class, it's usually 7 o'clock, 7:15. Just towards the conclusion they will come. But he will start the class every day at 6:30. And one of the old men told him, why can't you start later? He says, you are not there, but there are other people who are listening to it. Who are other? Oh, they are all the ghosts and gods, and they are all devtas there. They are there and he'll give lecture to empty class. Full on. And then slowly these oldies will trickle into the class. Will I do that? I don't know. So, here, Shishya charyataya tathaiva pitru putra. So just like that one reality alone is expressing as the teacher on one side and the student on the other. The father on one side and the son on the other. So this whole duality, instead of saying that it is born out of ignorance, here the teacher, Adi Shankaracharya, he is bringing to our cognition that one alone has become the two, the opposites. Because if you go into silence, you will be in samadhi. What is our goal? To go into samadhi, or to transform our vision, and with that transformed vision, what will be our take of the whole thing? That I am the self, the world is the self, and for me, what is the world? Jeev Jagat Ishwar. The Jiva is the self which we have already seen. The Jagat also we are trying to convert into, we are thinking in such a way that all the opposites, the Jagat that I see, hear, touch, feel, taste, think, ideate, this whole world of opposites, which is a result of cause and effect, which I thought is actually nothing but that one alone appearing as the two. Father, son, mother, daughter, teacher, student. Inside, outside, up and down, everything, all the opposites that you can think. Including sukha, dukkha, this, that, because all these things, where are they expressing? In the mind. What is mind? Yesterday we went through this. What is mind in essence? Nothing but consciousness. So, modification of consciousness alone is appearing as thoughts in your mind, isn't it? Modification of consciousness alone is appearing as thoughts. Modification of water alone is appearing as waves. But because a wave is seen as appearing, water has not, and you are calling it a wave, but for all other purposes, it is nothing but water. Exactly the same way, just as water is the essence of every wave in the ocean or in the waters, same way, consciousness or this atman or this truth is the essence of every thought. Thought meaning duality. all the opposites, in and through. It is the essence. And when you start thinking like this, suddenly what has happened? The whole Jagat is transformed into, seen as an expression of that one reality. Eyes will only see differences. This is a intellectual exercise to come to suss out that what is the source behind all this. And for that, the first example was given, Balya Deshwabi. What is that constant principle? While I am speaking here or while you are thinking right now, is your attention on the changing or is your attention on the constant one? That constant one alone is appearing as the changing. We are not going into because of what, that will come in the next verse. See. Swapne jagriti vaya esha purusho maya paribhramitaha. So, as we said before, in the dream, in the waking, in the deep sleep, that one Purusha, that one without a second reality, that one truth is always present. It is not that because you are changing from one state to the other, from waking to the dream, so in between it vanishes. It becomes absent. When you are thinking one thought and going to the other thought. You are thinking of one finger and going to the second finger. In between you vanished or what? Huh? You didn't vanish. You are still there. Exactly the same way. What is that? So what is this waker, dreamer, sleeper, meditator? They are the manifestations. They are the expressions. But who is the one who is expressing as the waker, dreamer, sleeper because of the modifications? That one you are, that is that one Purusha, and that is what is told here. And that Purusha who is untouched, who is without modifications, who has never become many, yet appears to be many on account of, here it is said, on account of Maya paribhramita. Even after 2 days of retreat or after a deep meditation where you are absolutely clear as to what your essential nature is, you feel you have touched yourself. And then you come out, again the Maya takes over and and again you start behaving as I am the body, that I am only this body, isn't it? So what is that due to? Why this seeming fall from that height of abidance? Why is it coming about? It is happening due to Maya. And it is this Maya which gives rise to all these modifications. But modifications of what? Modification of you. But you are modification free. You are the constant one. Don't forget that. Continuing, and to such Dakshinamurti, who is that constant one? Dakshinamurti. To such Dakshinamurti, my prostrations and my salutations. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. We were doing the 9th verse. Bhuram bhasya nalo nilom baramaha natho himanshuf puman ityabhati characharatmakamidam yasyaiva murtyashtakam nanyat kinchana vidyate vimrushatam yasmat parasmat vibho tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Here he says that the earth, water, fire, air, space, sun, moon and Ashtamurti Bhrut. What are these Ashtamurti? Yesterday I explained that what is that which has gone into giving us the experience of the world at this moment. We keep the God principle, God out of it, because we have never experienced the God. So what is that immediate? It is these 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. So all old traditions, they all believe in these 5 elements. And what else is governing our life? It is the sun and the moon. So these 5 elements and the sun and the moon, they go into making what? They go into making life, propagating life, giving the form, etc., etc. But there is one more element which these 7 elements cannot create. What is that? The Purusha, the Atma, the Self. These 7 elements, they cannot create the Atma. But what happens is, these 7 elements have created the form, and through that form, this Jiva is expressing. For whom are these 7 elements? Are they for themselves? No, they are for someone. Who is that someone? It is the Jiva, it is the conscious one, it is the conscious principle. So here when it says Bhu is the earth, Amba is the space, is the water, Anala is the fire, Ambar is the space, Mahar is the sun, Himanshu is the moon, and Puman is the Jiva. And in this way, Itya Bhati Chara Charatmakam Idam, everything moving or unmoving is pervaded by these eight of them. And Yasya Eva Murti Ashtakam. And this way, these are the 8 forms that go, they are the building blocks of this whole creation as we see it right this moment. And in this manner, Nanyat Kinchana Vidyate Vimrushatam Yasmat Parasmat Vibhoho. And apart from this Atman, there cannot exist anything. So this is very immediate. When we look at this world, what we are trying to do is, yesterday we told you that those people, those seekers who are incapable of thinking till the 6th verse or 7th verse, 8th verse, till 8th verse, because they are not having enough acumen, enough refinement, enough integration of their faculties within. For them, these later examples are given. These Balya Dishwapi. See, not Balya Dishwapi, these last Bhoram Bhase Nalo Nilo, this one, and this 10th one, which will come next one. So for them this is given, so that they have a way to hold on to something and contemplate. The previous, till the 8th verse, he did not need anything. He was very clear. He was very sharp. He had reached the subtlety required to grasp what the words of the teacher are indicating. But the last 2 verses that we are going to do, we are doing now, including this one, the student has not reached that subtlety yet. So he needs some support. He needs some examples, which are, so where they are not examples in the previous verses, they were, but they are very subtle. But when you are talking about Balya, Dishwapi, it is what you are seeing. When you are talking about space, air, fire, water, this is what you are experiencing. So here the teacher is bringing him to that. And when you contemplate on any one of them, whether you contemplate on space, whether you contemplate on air, fire, water, earth, sun or moon, what happens when you contemplate on any one of them? Or forget about contemplation also, when you become focused on them. Before, till the 8th verse, there was no one object that was given to you to focus upon. The student was self-focused. He had prepared himself. Here he requires something to focus upon. Here it was told what? Murti Ashtakam. Murti means a form. So here we are not talking about space is not a form, but yes, we can experience space. Something he needs to that which is experience on which he can focus. So what are the two ingredients that we require in order to be integrated enough to dive deep into contemplation? What is focus? And what was the other one? Contemplation. So first is focus, not first is contemplation. First focus is required. First single pointedness is required. And what is single pointedness or focus? It means thinking of one thing to the exclusion of everything else. So here he is given, think of space. If you can't think of space, think of focus on air. You can't think about it, think of fire. If you find that difficult, focus on water. Can't focus on earth. If you can't, focus on sun or focus on moon. Or if you can't do anything, focus on your body or focus on the self. So some focus. Important thing is not what you are focusing on. In transcendental meditation, you can focus on a chair, on a stand, anything you can take and focus on. Point is, you have to bring your mind to a sharp focus, single pointed attention, wherein you are thinking of one thought to the exclusion of all others. That's exactly what taking the name of the Lord is doing for us. But when the Upanishads were written, these were the gods, the five elements and the sun, the moon and the Purusha. These were the only. Purusha here does not mean just the man, it's the principle. So you meditate upon it, focus upon any of these. What will happen as a result of focus? Your mind is going from many thoughts to one thought. As a result of that, what will happen? Your mind is getting purified, first thing. It is getting purified of unwanted thoughts in the mind. Where the mind becomes free of unwanted thoughts and becomes finer and finer, thinking only about one, the expansion happens. Of what? Of the mind. Purified mind is expanded mind. Purified mind is single pointed mind. Or other way also, single pointed or focused mind is equal to purified mind. Single pointed mind is expanded mind. How is that possible that we know only single pointed means like this, sharp? How can that sharpness become all expansive? You find that out. You do it and you will see. And in such an expanded and single pointed mind, a new faculty starts getting invoked, inaugurated, and that faculty is called contemplation, nididhyasan. And what is that? Initially it will be only for a short period of time, but as you keep maintaining that focus and allowing your mind to contemplate, you don't need to study scriptures. From within the answer will come to contemplate on something. Here we have the advantage of these words of the scripture, words of Dakshinamurti, or we have the Upanishads. But there are many Mahatmas, many seekers who have never come across. Anandamayi Ma, she only chanted Krishna, 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 Krishna. Never took, she was uneducated. She didn't know what script, she knows there is something called scriptures, Gita, Bhagavad, but never couldn't read. So how did she become focused? Only Krishna. And then as she became so focused on Krishna name and it started taking her over, Then she used to ask people, Acha, you chant Bhagavad Gita, you read Bhagavatam, you read, and when she used to listen, it used to trigger into contemplation and new depths she was able to access. And what is that depth? Again, that depth is coming to the conscious silence, the Paravani. So, it's not that all the time you are chanting or all the time you are meditating. You cannot meditate all the time. This is from seeker's point of view. Realized masters are continuously in that state, in and through all the states. So, here he says that apart from the Atman, nothing can exist, and the yogis, the contemplators who meditate upon these Ashtamurti, on these 8, they discover the essence from within. So whether you contemplate on, become focused on space and then contemplate on it, you will come to the same truth. Whether you take any of the other 8, you will come to the same truth. It will be revealed. Our problem is we are not focused enough. We are too distracted. Remember, what were the 5 conditions of the mind? I am repeating again. What are the first one? Moodhamana. Moodhamana is dull mind. Dull mind is not qualified to know the truth. What is the second? Kshiptamana. Kshiptamana is agitated mind, restless mind. It is also not qualified to know the truth. Even though truth is expressing through that Kshiptamana also, but he is not qualified to know. What was the third one? Vikshiptamana, which is most of us, distracted. We look at here, after if I continue for some more time, you will say, Swamiji, you will just look at your watch, or you will say, oh, I have to put the rice on. Swamiji is taking too long to... So, Vikshiptamana, distraction. We are not having the stamina to stay with the thought continuously for the required period of time. And what is that required period of time? What is the purpose of that required period of time? So that all the modifications dissolve. Required period of time can be minuscule to lifetimes. It can be from one moment, or it can extend to lifetimes. Question is, are we having the stamina to remain focused, contemplative on the theme that is being presented or that is being revealed from within, so that the mind merges, the mind dissolves, the mind goes back to its source. It doesn't go back into emptiness. Emptiness is also an idea in our head only, in our mind. Absence of object is emptiness. We are not going into emptiness. We want to go back to being the source. And here, and this way, the seeker, the yogi, he is able to discover the origin of everything in this creation. This creation is made up of these 8, and he is able to come to the origin of these 8. From where did the space, air, fire, water, earth, sun, moon, and person come from? Came from that reality. And he is able to realize that one and come to know that it is the essence not only of me, but not only of this body, but of all that there is in this universe. And in this way, everything is nothing but that eternal reality, just as we may call the water by name of various oceans, by name of various waves, but the truth is, it is evident that everything is nothing but water. Names that are given to that large expanse of water can be different oceans. To that small expanse of water can be various waves, wave number 1, 2, 3, 4, or even blocks of ice. But the truth is that everything is nothing but the H2O or water. Same way, just with that example, now apply it to this whole universe. This universe was made up of this Ashtamurti. You take any one of this, you focus on it. As the focus becomes intense, without giving you a headache, it should be joyful. Then it will not give you a headache. When you are enjoying this process with joy, without too much stress of realizing, then it will lead to contemplation, and that contemplation will automatically lead you to the truth, and that truth alone is the eternal existence of this creation. And that I am without a thought. You are not saying I am, but you have come to realize that this truth that is my essential nature is now, when I am using words here, it will feel that as if there is difference, that the truth that I have realized I am is the truth that is the essence of the whole world. But I am also part of the world only, no? This body is also part of this world only. In this manner, salutations to that Dakshinamurti, who is the personification of that conscious silence. My salutations and namaskarams again and again and again to that divinity. Now we come to the last verse which we have to address today. Sarvatmattvamiti sfutikrutamidam yasmad amushminstave tenasya shravanat tadarthamananat dhyanat cha sankirtanat sarvatmattvamahavibhuti sahitam syadishwaratvam swataha siddhyetat punarashtadha parinatam cha aishwaryamavyahatam Again, salutations to that Dakshinamurti who awakens the reality within us through his silence, and sarvatmattvamiti sfutikrutamidam yasmad amushminstave. The divine essence is all. It is made up, is made clear in this verse. Hence, by tenasya shravanat adarthamananat. Thus, by listening, shravana, it is not written pathana, it is not said study, it is not said read the scripture. What is written? By listening to the scripture, then reflecting upon the scripture or the words that are being told. When should it go on? Preferably, if a refined mind or intellect, while listening is happening, there alone, without too much delay, the reflection also happens. You know there is no doubt about what is being talked, so immediately you dive into contemplation, and contemplation is not to delve in the thoughts but to come to the essence. And that contemplation also helps, is done in such a way. Mananat के बाद क्या है? Mananat, dhyanat cha sankirtanat. And then you meditate, and that meditate leads to dissolution of all. After that, what will happen? After that, again you will come back. You will come out of meditation. Then what will you do? Sankirtan, Bhagavan ka naam japte raho. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Sankirtanat. Another way of putting Sankirtanat is you are continuously singing the glory of the truth that you have realized. What we are doing is singing the glory of the Dakshinamurti Stotram here. On Thursdays we are singing the glory of Bhagavad Gita, singing the glory of Jnaneshwar Maharaj, singing the glory of the Upanishads. We can't do anything else. So before realization, you are singing the glory. After realization, you continue singing the glory. Time pass हो रहा है. First, it was out of a need to realize. So you knew that you need to become focused and contemplative, and you are not interested in the world. So you are singing the glory. After coming to ascertain that you all are that there is, self alone is all that there is. After that, what will you do? Continue singing the glory. Or what else? If I have to use the words, if I have to think thoughts, why not think thoughts about that alone? तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात् ध्यानाच्च संकीर्तनात् सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितं स्याद् ईश्वरत्वं स्वतः. And thus, when one does it, one listens, contemplates on the meaning and meditates on it and sings the glory of it, one becomes endowed with the greatness of the knowledge of the divine essence. The divine essence reveals itself, and which is this? What is this divine essence? It is that which is pervading all. There is nothing else apart from it, and it is that divine essence which initial stages. We can only talk about it. What is that? As long as this body is there, just like you become hungry again and again and get satisfied again and again. Correct? This is every night you have to go to sleep to become refreshed again and again. Similarly, as long as this body is there, very few people are there who are continuously abiding in the truth. Very few Mahatmas are there. Then others, what are they doing? They are singing, they are doing all this. Shravana, Manana, Dhyana, Sankirtana, etc. Nididhyasana, Dhyana and Sankirtana. They are doing all this and again making themselves available to that truth to reveal itself. It reveals itself. So for example, in meditation you go, you are in silence, you are complete, you feel there is no lack, you are not the body, you are not, the whole world is absent for you, but you are conscious. But you come out, again the world is there, again hunger, thirst, relationships, work, this is there, again you come back home, again you access it, again you dive into it, again you are in samadhi and you access it, again and again you are accessing it. As long as this body is there, this will continue going on. And therefore you see the great masters like Tukaram, Jnaneshwar Maharaj, Namdev ji, they write the abhangas which are where they are crying, why have you abandoned me, why have you forsaken me, why you are not giving me the darshan again and again. It was not that they wanted the form to be revealed, but there was those moments where they feel that they have become separated from that essence, that Anand, that they were, that Paramananda that was revealing itself of its own accord, that was missing in their life. Then those verses came out of their mouth, or they came in their mind and they penned it down. Those are called Viraha Geet, where they are expressing their pain of separation. So when you become available to the world, what is that vikaratmika buddhi? When your buddhi becomes vikaratmika, when your buddhi becomes available to the duality of the world, to the variety of the world, then such seekers, such masters, they write the songs of separation. And in those songs of separation, suddenly their buddhi, their intellect becomes vicharatmika. Again it turns back to the source and suddenly everything stops. See? And in this, and this way, these are the interim stages from dhyan till to samadhi to sahaj samadhi. Remember what is. So when we are talking about focus, yesterday we talked about only dharana, we didn't go further. What was dharana? Dharana was intermittent focus. What was dhyan? Continuous focus. What was samadhi? No focus. Absorption of focus. Who was trying to focus? The mind was trying to focus, isn't it? And what is samadhi? Where mind has merged into its source. That is samadhi. What is next after samadhi? हाँ बोलो. सहज समाधि. Sahaj sthiti. Sahaj sthiti is, that's what I said, very few masters are there. Sahaj sthiti is whether your eyes are open or they are closed. You are continuously, when it is seen that such a master is always in that, moving around as that essence, in that essence, his vision is totally transformed. But very few. But for us, what is that? From dhyan, continuous focus. Remember, focus is required. From going from focus to samadhi, if you go only through focus into samadhi, it will be called jada samadhi. But when you contemplate, bring in nididhyasan, focus on that, the point of focus is, see, you can think of this table and go into samadhi. You can think of the wall and go into samadhi. You can think of anything and go into samadhi. But just tweaking there, that if you think of the conscious principle and go into samadhi, then it is going into, do the dhyan, do the nididhyasan, then you will go into, there is a possibility that you bypass samadhi and go into sahaj sthiti. See? But if that sahaj sthiti is not gained, it will be gained with the last thought, last breath. It will be gained. For such a person, there is no rebirth. But before that, what is happening? He is accessing the divine. His mind is merging into the divine. Just like you take a dip in the river every day to refresh yourself, the seeker or the meditator is taking a dip in the consciousness. Meaning, his mind is taking a dip in the consciousness by dissolving itself into the consciousness again and again and again and again. And then that lasts for some time. And we have been fortunate enough to come across many masters in India. One master was there, his name was Tembe Swami in Varanasi. And we used to go there to his place. He was living in a Veda Patashala. They had given him a room. He was in his late 80s, early 90s. Now he's no more. But he'll eat only once a day. And he used to come down all those 120 steps to take bath in the Gangaji, wash his clothes, again climb up. And one brahmachari found him and he says, Baba, you don't do it, I'll wash your clothes and bring it. He allowed him. But he took me along and I spent some time, some days with him. And he will sit in the morning, get up in the afternoon, have his little bit 4 or 5 spoons of food, and then he will rest for 1 hour. And before we go, he says, okay, now I'm ready. He will sit on his bed and we have to put it was winters, so we have to put the rajai, the doona on his body, cover his head, and before we have done that, he is already in. And how long? Till next morning we come, he is still sitting there. He is still sitting there. Just like every time you get up in the morning, the sleep pulls you back in. Does it or does it not? Exactly the same way. When you come out of meditation, when you come out of absorption, that is so fulfilling that the moment you come out in the world, again it pulls you back, and I don't want to get involved in the world. Is one side. You don't even have time to think about that, but the joy, the bliss of sleep was so intense that you want to dive back into sleep. Same way, you want to dive back into your own self in meditation, in contemplation. You don't want to come out in the world. This becomes the norm of such people. That's why you come back to satsang again and again. That's why we talk about it again and again. That's why we meditate again and again. That's why she asked me, Swamiji, is there going to be meditation this morning? And we had a 10 minutes I spoke, and then that was the trigger. This is what, understand the whole sequence of this. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Dhyana, Samadhi, Sahaja Samadhi. So in this manner, we'll just conclude here for the moment, and we'll talk about it further or take a synopsis of the whole text in our next class. If there is something more to talk on it, we'll talk. Let next class begin. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit quietly for a moment.